Crossed by condie, Chapter 3, Kai. It's been a month and a half since we left that boy in the water. Now I lie in the dirt and fire come down from above. It's a song, I tell myself, same as I always do. The bass sounds of the heavy shots, the soprano of the screams, the tenor of my own fear, all part of the music. Don't try to run, I tell the others too. But new decays never listen, that believe what the society told them on the way out here. Do your time in the villages and we'll bring you home in 6 months. We'll give you citizen status again. Now no one lasts 6 months. When I climb out, there will be black buildings and splintering gray sagebrush, burning falling bodies strewn along the orange sandy earth. And now there's a break in the song, and I swear the airships are on the move. I know what draws their fire. Early this morning, boots crunched in the frost behind me. I didn't look back to see who followed me to the edge of the village. What are you doing? Someone asked. I didn't recognize the voice. But that didn't mean much. They always send new people out here to the village from the camps. We die faster and faster these days. I know each before they push me onto the train back in Oria. That's the society and would never use us to fight. They have plenty of technology and trained officers for that. People who aren't aberrations or anomalies, what the society needs, what we are for them, our bodies, decoy villagers. They move us, put us wherever they need more people to draw fire from the enemy. They want the enemy to think the outer provinces are still inhabited and viable, although the only people I see here are ones like us, drop down from the skies with just enough to keep us alive until the enemy kills us. No one goes home. Except me. I came home. The outer provinces are where I once belonged. The snow, I told the new decoy. I'm looking at the snow. It doesn't snow here, he scoffed. I didn't answer. I kept looking up at the top of the nearest plateau. It's almost something worth seeing. White snow and red rocks. Well, it melts and turns from white to crystal clear and shot through the rainbows. I've been up high before. When the snow came down, it was beautiful the way it feathered the winter dead plants. Behind me, I heard him turn and run back toward the camp. Look up on the plateau, he yells, and the only stringing and calling back is in excitement. We're going up to go get the snow, Kai. Someone hollered at me a few moments later. Come on. You won't make it, I told them. It will melt too fast, but no one listened to me. The officials still kept us thirsty, and what water we do have tastes like the inside of our canteens. The closest river now is poisoned, and rain doesn't come often. One cold swallow of fresh water, I can see why they want to go. You sure? One of them called back to me, and I nodded again. You go, Vic, someone called out. Vic stood up, shielded his hard blue eyes with one hand, and spit down into the frost sagebrush. No, he says. Kai says it'll melt before we get there, and we've got graves to dig. You're always making us dig, one of the decoys complained. We're supposed to act like farmers. That's what the society says. He was right. They want us to use the shovels and seeds from the village sheds to plant winter crops and to leave the bodies where they lie. I heard one decoy say that that's what they do in the other villages. They leave the carcasses of the society or the enemy or any animal who might want them, but Vic and I bury people. I started with the boy in the river and no one stopped us yet. Vic laughed, a cold sound. In the absence of any officials or officers, he has become the unofficial leader out here, and sometimes the other decoys forget that he doesn't actually have any power within the society. They forget that he's an aberration too. I don't make you do anything, neither does Kai. You know who does? And if you want to take your chances up there, I won't stop you. The sun climbed higher, and so did they. I watched for a while. Their black plainclothes and the distance between the village and the plateau made them look like ants swarming a hill. Then I stood up and started back to work, digging holes in the graveyard from one who died in the firing the nights before. Vic and the others worked next to me. We had 7 holes to dig, not too many considering the intensity of the firing and the fact that there was almost 100 of us to lose. I kept my back to the climbers so I didn't have to see how the snow was all gone by the time they reached the top of the plateau. Climbing up there was a waste of time. It also a waste of time to think about people who are gone, and judging by the way things are out here are going, I don't have a lot of time to waste, but I can't help it. On my first night in Maple Tree Grove, I looked out at the window in my new bedroom and not one thing was familiar or seemed like home. So I turned away, and then Ada came through the door, and she looked enough like my mother that I could breathe again. She held out her hand with the compass in it. Our parents only had 1 artifact and 2 daughters. Your mother and I agreed that we would take turns sharing it, but then she left. She opened my hand and put the compass inside. We had the same artifact, and now we both have the same sun. It's for you. I can't have it, I told her. I'm an aberration. We're not allowed to keep things like this. Nevertheless, Ada said, it is yours. And then I gave it to Cassia to keep, and she gave me the green silk. I know they'd take it from me someday. I knew I would never get to keep it. And so that's why when we walked down from the hill the last time, I paused and I tied it to a tree quickly so she wouldn't notice. I like to think of it out there on top of the hill under wind and rain, because in the end, you can't always choose what to keep. You can only choose how to let it go. Cassia, I was thinking of her when I saw the snow. I thought we could climb up there, even if it all melted. We'd sit and write words on the still damp sand. We could do that. If you weren't gone, but then I remembered you're not the one who's gone. I am. A boot appeared near the edge of the grave. I know who it is by the notches carved on the edge of the sole, a method some used out here to mark time survived. No one else has as many cuts as many days track. You're not dead, Vic says. No, I said, pushing myself to my feet. I spit dirt out of my mouth and reached for the shovel. Vic digs next to me. Neither of us talk about the people we won't be able to bury today. The one who tried to climb to the snow. Back in the village, I heard the decoys calling to each other and to us. 3 more dead here, they cry out, and then fall silent as they look up. Not one of the decoys who went up to the plateau will be coming back. I found myself hoping the impossible, that all, at least they quenched their thirst before the fire, that they had mouths full of clean, cold snow when they died. End of Chapter 3 of Crossed by Ali Condie. Look for Chapter 4 by Crossed by Ali Condie by Danica. Thanks for listening.